நான் வரலையா? Participants வரலையா? Oh, 30 seconds. Participants வரலையா? Oh, 30 seconds. Participants வரலையா? Oh, 30 seconds. Good morning, all. Good morning to everyone. The most certain way to success is always to try just one more time. Good morning to all. It's all set. We are all starting our third day FTP, and we have our Dr. IMMANUEL here. We are going to start our third day today. Good morning.
A warm welcome to all attendees to the third day of our 5-day FDP. The Department of English and for Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram campus is happy to roll out the talk today on the topic, the role of English teachers in teaching English, a new outlook. I'm sure we are all preparing ourselves for the new normal. Hence, we have to equip ourselves with a new outlook and a new mindset. Our speaker today, Dr. IMMANUEL, Assistant Professor in English, RMK College of Science, Engineering and Technology, is a very vibrant person. We welcome you, sir, and I thank you immensely for joining us today. Over to my colleague, Sylvia.
Thank you, ma'am. Good day, all. I'm glad to welcome and introduce our resource person, Dr. G. IMMANUEL. Welcome, sir. Dr. G. IMMANUEL is a teacher of English and a researcher with 16 years of teaching English and literature in various arts and engineering colleges and a publication record of 31 international papers and has authored a book. He has completed his doctorate in American literature from University of Madras, post-graduation and undergraduation in English literature from Royal College, Chennai. And he is an invited speaker and guest in many schools and colleges and has delivered 28 resourceful talks and lectures. Currently, he is designated as Assistant Professor in the Department of English at RMK College of Engineering and Technology, Puduvayal. He holds the membership with the following association: Franklin membership with London Journals Press, Life member of All India, Forum of English Students, Research Scholars and Trainers, member of Association for English Studies in India, member of English Literary Association of India, member of International Association of Teachers of English as Foreign Languages. He has organized many regional, state, and national workshops, FDPs, and conferences. His focus is to carry out in-depth research in teaching English and literature and also teaching language through literature. Over to Dr. IMMANUEL.
Yes, good morning to one and all. I thank the management of Srm-Ist, head of the department, Dr. Rema, Ms. Kavita, and Ms. Sylvia, for having given me a chance to meet great, noble professionals today. In an alarming situation, it's an awakening call from my side to all my known, unknown well-wishers of this day. So I take immense pleasure in meeting you all through this webinar. that is an objective why I accepted this invitation. I have walked through 16 years of teaching English language to the students of arts and science and engineering colleges. So now I felt it's my time to address teachers on certain realities that we must think upon on doing our noble profession. So setting a board for you all, let's now realize what have we done so far. We being called noble professionals, are we really addressing our objectives? Are we really meeting the objectives set by us? These are all certain questions where my session will answer you. So this particular session covers the realities I felt, and I also know you will also join me in telling or in realizing what we have faced so far. So I'm not taking much of the time. Now I love to move on to my presentation. I welcome all the participants of the day. Hope you will have an enriching day. It's more of a retrospection that we are going to have. We are going to have an inquest into us. We are going to ask ourselves certain questions and we'll try to answer. So now I'll move on to the PowerPoint. Hope my PowerPoint is visible. Yes. Is my PowerPoint visible? Yes. Okay. The title of my talk today is The Role of English Language Teachers in Teaching English, a New Outlook. We are in a noble profession that we all know. Okay, we are all very sure of that. What is the expansion of a teacher? Okay, how can we expand the term teacher? We can call ourselves talented, excellent, adorable, charming, humble, encouraging, and responsible. Good. Okay, it looks lovely. The expansion looks very lovely. Okay, of course, we are all talented, excellent, adorable, charming, humble, encouraging, and responsible. We all know. But what are we today? How can we explain our role as a teacher today? Okay, it's in a lighter vein. I put this. Okay, let's ponder on this expansion. Terrible every day at class, hoping everyone goes running. It looks funny. It reads funny. But we'll have to think on this aspect also as English teacher. Now we'll move on to the role of a teacher. What are our roles? Of course, okay, we are all very sure of our roles, okay. We are a good learner, of course. Every teacher is a learner, first of all. Okay, we are facilitators, assessors, manager, evaluator, and guide. Of course, okay, these are all very familiar to you, but to have a startup, okay, it's like starter to my presentation. Now, role of an English language teacher, role 1, okay, Harmer. Jeremy Harmer is an ELT writer, presenter, and a trainer. He tends to give certain role what an English language teacher can be. So the first role that we look at here is we are the controller. He says we are the controller. The most common thought of a role might be the fully organized classroom in which everything is controlled by the teacher. Yes, of course. English teachers are meant to be good controllers. Maybe our class would be very lively and vibrant, but still we do have control of our students. They are the stakeholders. So we are good controllers. No objection. We'll move on to the second role. Teachers are expected to assess their students by correcting them and giving feedback to their development and performance. Assessor, of course. We assess students in a very short span of time. If we talk to a student for 2 to 3 minutes, we'll be able to easily understand or decipher what our students are. Beyond that, we go correcting a student's paper, correcting their communication, and not many things we do. Okay, we are all good assessors. Of course, okay, everyone would accept that role of a teacher is a good assessor. Fine. We are all good assessors. So all the best for that. We'll move on to the third role. We are called good managers. Good organization is a key factor in planning a syllabus, a lesson, or just a particular task, and helps to discipline the students. Of course, we do have class control and students come under our control. There is no doubt, because they love us so much. And English teachers are mostly very close with the students. As English is a lighter subject, we also move close with the students. And of course, we manage students better. When we tell something, okay, definitely our students would obey us. Whether they obey the co-teachers or not, okay, they tend to obey us. Okay, it's a good sign. As English teachers, okay, it's a very good sign. Of course, okay, we're all good managers. So you'll not object me here. And I also appreciate for that. Now the fourth role, teacher acts as a resource by helping the students if necessary. Of course, English teachers are good helpers. Okay. I feel, okay, English teachers are good human beings. It does not mean other teachers are not human beings. Okay, we move more closer to the students, we understand students, and also we relate ourselves to the students more closely, so that student can understand us, or students can understand us, and also we understand students better. Okay, because we do not have much, lineup to teach them. And our English subject is also as cool as possible. So students tend to relate themselves to us. So we are very resourceful to them. Okay, so teacher acts as a resource. Okay, of course, okay, you are a greatest resource. Do not forget. We are in a noble profession and we need to be very resourceful. Only then we can impact our students in a better way. So moving on to role 5. We are called the participants. I'll tell you, nobody can relate themselves as lively as an English teacher, I'll tell you. So we are all gifted. We tend to relate more lively with them. We move very close with them. They also relate themselves very closely with us. Of course, okay. You don't object this also. We tend to be facilitators and we tend to participate. And also we tend to be very benign to them. So students mostly get attached to us. English teacher means students generally say we love them so much. But other teachers, students say we like them too much. This is the difference. Okay, we like the teacher so much is different from we love the teacher so much. So English teachers are in the platform where students love us. So we tend to become a participant. Sometimes we don't find difference. We move along with them. Okay, we speak to them. We relate ourselves to their problems, and students come out and tell their problems to us. We take their problems as our problem, and then we try to solve it. Of course, okay, we are a participant. What Harmer said is right. We are one of the participants in their lives. So now we are moving on to the role 6. We are investigators. Harmer says we are investigators. The teacher analyzes the way of teaching, observes what is going on in the classroom, and investigates the way students learn with the aim to develop his or her methods of teaching. English teachers are good modulators, I'll tell you. You accept or not, we tend to modulate ourselves to the level of understanding of the students. We understand the students. Okay, take for example in a class, if a student scratches his head, we can easily understand the student is feeling bored, and we tend to change the topic. Okay, we move away from the subject, we speak to them and bring them back to the realm, okay, where we can move on with English teaching. So we are good investigators. Okay, right from the cue, what students give us through their facial expressions or through their non-verbal signs, we can easily call out, okay, something is wrong here, and this is a time where we need to rest a bit or give him a time of relaxation and bring him back to the subject. So we are good investigators, and also we know how to analyze the class, we know how to analyze the student and everything. That's nice. Okay, so Harmer says, okay, we are good investigators, no doubt. A teacher is a good investigator. Okay, of course, these are all the characters of English language teachers, and also also these roles might be applicable for other teachers also. I have no objection in that. But still, okay, what Harmer says about English language teachers, I'm putting it here. So role 7, Matthew here says, we are role models. My friends, I want you to take this into your mind. You are the role model. You are the role model. Students emulate a lot from English language teachers. So you cannot say no. Of course, you cannot say no. How are we going to set a model to our students in the path of English language learning? So honesty, affection, or fairness, for example, are not only learned from parents, but also from teachers at school. Therefore, a teacher must be fully aware that his behavior in general has a huge impact on the personal development of his or her students. We are impact creators. We are going to be the great inspiration to our students. We are going to be someone whom our students are going to emulate. So let's keep this in mind. You are a model. You are a model to be emulated. You are a model to be imitated. You are a model which the student tend to copy and behave like you. So as English language teachers, we should keep in mind we need to become a good model for our students. So now we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so far I've given you 7 roles that an English language teacher can take, or in general a teacher can take. So now we'll move on to the next slide, which says defining our recipients. Who are our recipients? Whenever we go for a battle, they say, know your enemy to win him. So likewise, now we need to exactly know who are our recipients. Folks, our recipients are called Gen Z adolescents. Gen Z adolescents. We had generation X generation, we had generation Y, now we are in Gen Z. So what are the characteristics of Gen Z adolescents? Unless we know these characteristics, we cannot tune ourselves in such a way impacting our stakeholders or our recipients. So here recipients mean our students. So who are they? First point says Gen Z adolescents are environmentally aware. They know what's happening around us, or they know what's happening around them. They're not ignorance. They're not ignorance. We are not teaching ignorance. We should know that. They are all students with great awareness. So this is one of the important characteristics to be noted. We are teaching students who are fully aware of their environment. Next, they are very pragmatic. Of course, they know theory is important, but they give more importance to practicality of life. So we deal with pragmatic adolescents. How are we equipping ourselves to meet the needs of pragmatic adolescents? Number 3, they expect innovation. You cannot be an old teacher always. You cannot be an old English language teacher always. You need to be innovative. You need to change yourself. You need to modulate yourself to the environment or environmentally aware adolescents. Number 4, they are born social. They are not very secluded. They know to deal with people. They know to relate with people. They know to move with people. They know to socialize. So they are born social. They didn't learn socialism, but they are born social. So automatically they are equipped to be very social. Number 5, they are more global. Their outlook is not regional, I'll tell you. They are very global. Okay. So now these are the periods of quarantine. I'll tell you, our kids at home knows better with respect to technology than us. They know to operate the mobile phone. They know to operate Zoom apps. They know to operate. Okay, they are very much tuned to the online education or online teaching or learning, which we might not be aware of. So they are more global. So we are facing students who are more global because they belong to Gen Z. Number 6, they are very adventurous. They are very adventurous. They want to be different, actually. They want to do things differently. At the same time, they also want to do different things. So this generation is very vibrant, you know. Okay, they are very vibrant. You can see vibes wherever you feel your students are. How are we going to equip ourselves as English language teachers? Point number 7. They have got very limited attention span. Of course, we must accept. The psychologists say students can fully concentrate in a class only for 18 minutes. 18 minutes, not more than that. We English teachers, how long do we speak in a class? Whereas when it comes to Gen Z adolescents, they have got very limited attention span. It roughly goes up to 10 to 15 minutes, roughly. How are we going to tune ourselves in impacting such students in our class? And the last one, less trust. They neither trust themselves nor trust anybody. So how are we as English language teachers going to instill trust in their minds in the process of English language learning? So now we have defined who our recipients are. Or now we have defined, or we have come to know to what kind of students we are exposing ourselves. Now, after defining our recipients, let's now define ourselves. This is where I draw the attention of all the English language teachers. I hope my audience or the participants are from English stream, and you and I are in the noble profession of teaching English language. So now let's define ourselves. So these 2 questions I love to place before you, and you are supposed to answer this. I've got my own answers, but you ask these questions to yourself, and then you answer for yourself. The first question says, are we English language teachers? Or are we English subject teachers? I request my audience to think on these questions. My audience or the participants in the webinar or this faculty development program might be experienced. Your experience may range up to 30 to 40 years. But these questions suits everybody. Are we English language teachers or are we English subject teachers? What have we done so far? Or what IMMANUEL has done so far? Or what you participants have done so far? Are you teaching English as a language? Or you are teaching English as a subject? Hope this question is meaningful. Down the years, we teach English only as a subject. We look English as a language, but we teach English as a subject to our students. When it becomes a subject, students will also look at English only as a subject. That is why students always take English to be a light subject. They don't give the importance to English as a language. Where does the problem start? Who is responsible? Who is responsible? Is it our recipient is it our recipient? The problem is with the recipients, or the problem is with the teacher? So that's why I pose this question. I've been asking this question to everybody whom I meet. Are we English language teachers? Are we convincingly doing the job as an English language teachers? Are we teaching English as a subject? What is our mind? Okay, the slide says mind plus set is equal to mindset. We learned English as a subject and we tuned ourselves to teach English as a language, but we fail miserably in practice. We don't teach English as a language, we teach English as a subject. So our mind says you're all English language teachers, but we set ourselves into an environment where we teach English as a subject, and that determines the mindset of the students. So that's why I've given mind plus set is equal to mindset. So we, as noble professionals, we impact the mind of the students. That we must remember and we must acknowledge. We impact the minds of the students. The way we impact the minds of the students, we set their minds towards a certain goal. So since we take English as a subject and we teach English as a subject, of course, okay, we don't give our students a feel that English is a language. What are we going to do? Don't you feel we are failing miserably? Don't you think we have turned English language to be an English subject? English is basically a language. And that is what the expectation of recipients or our recipients also. They want language skills. They want to learn language. But what do we do in a class? We teach them subjects. So now you might question me, sir, then do you think we don't need to teach them English as a subject? If you are from arts and science colleges, you would have poetry, prose, and not many literatures to teach. Of course, we need to give them the knowledge. They should have the knowledge. If you are from engineering college, you'll have to teach them the nuances of functional grammar. Of course, I don't object. But are we doing justice as English language teachers? Kindly think on this question. Let's proceed. Teachers. Teachers are called noble professionals. Why are teachers called noble? I admit there is a mistake there, professionals, Profess. So it's a typo error, so pardon me. Why are teachers called noble? What do you mean by noble? A people of the highest social group. Let me tell you. The world says teachers are second parents. Teachers are second parents. They learn from home from their parents, and also they come to college, they learn from second parents. You are the mother and father of your students. You should accept. So having taken a noble profession as teachers of English language, now my question is, are we really noble according to our profession? Are we doing accountably well in disseminating or in reaching our students or in teaching our students English as a language? It's my focus. It is essential that we need to teach English as a language. If we fail to do that, we are failing in our noble profession. Hope you'll accept what I'm trying to say. So are we really noble? You will have to answer for yourself. So my presentation will have so many questions to give you, and you will have to retrospect, go into your mind, go into yourself, and ask all these questions. And try not to answer verbally, but try to answer practically. I'll tell you, you will become great English language teachers in the days to come. Now, teachers of English, are we self-centric or demand-centric or learner-centric or learners future-centric? What do you mean by self-centric? English teachers show off themselves. Yes, we want to project ourselves. In a classroom, of course, okay, we want to show how proficient we are in English. Is that a mistake? No, it's not a mistake. But does it affect the mind or the understanding of the student? Does it impact our students? English teacher means he or she should talk well. That's how the world says. Generally, when the classes are altered, when other teachers teachers of other subject cannot alter the class, they come to English language teachers and say, "Sir or madam, why can't you handle the class?" If we think for a while, you know what those teachers say? You go to class, nothing, you talk something, because you people know to talk many things. You can talk so much, so you keep talking. The same mindset comes into the cognizant level of English language teachers, and we go to class and we talk and we show off ourselves. We want to show students, okay, we are strong in English. I can speak good English. I can speak ornamental English. My words are really big, which you cannot understand. Our students are awestruck. Our students are much inspired. So we are self-centric. Next, are we demand-centric? Are we tuned to the demand of our environment? As English teachers, you'll have to go to class, teach the subject and come back. You are teaching English subject. That is the demand. That is the environmental demand we have. What is IMMANUEL sir teaching? IMMANUEL sir is teaching grammar today. What is Mr. X teaching? Mr. X is teaching poetry today. What is Miss X teaching? Miss X is teaching prose today. A demand-centric. Yes, syllabus demands, our management demands, our teaching environment demands. From these 2 points, self-centric and demand-centric, where are our students? Where are learners? I don't find our learners in these 2 points, self-centric and demand-centric. Self-centric, we concentrate on ourselves. Demand-centric, we concentrate on the environment. That is our higher-ups, head of the departments, college management, school management, whatever it might be. Where are the learners? Okay, coming to the third, learner-centric. Of course, we love to impact our students. We want to show English teachers can speak well. At the same time, you should also learn speaking. You should also learn English subject. English language teachers or English subject teachers, whatever you call it as, okay? We want to show that we are very strong in the subject. Yes. We want to drive home the point that learners should also know that we are very strong in the point, strong in the subject. But the last one is really moving. My friends, let me know, we are learners future-centric. To much extent, we are learner-centric, but I'll tell you, mostly we are not learners future-centric. So it's right time that we need to check ourselves to know whether we are learners future centric. Where are our learners going to be in the aspect of English language? How are they going to excel? What are we teaching them? What are we giving them? It's very essential. Of course, okay, we can take class control, we assess, we facilitate, okay, whatnot. We tend to be a role model also, but what do we do for learners' future? Where are our students standing in the aspect of communication in English language? Now, the approach of an English language teacher. Give a man a fish and he will eat for a day, the proverb says. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. The question is your teaching approach a day approach or a lifetime approach? Sorry, okay, that is hint. A lifetime approach. So let us now ponder, are we doing justice for a day or are we doing justice for a lifetime? Now, okay, yes, it's clear. A day approach or a lifetime approach? Are we impacting students temporally for a day or are we impacting them for lifetime? If you want to give them what they need a day, I don't think you will satisfy our recipients. You will satisfy our stakeholders. But we need to take a lifetime approach. A lifetime approach. Of course, teaching English as a subject is also a lifetime approach for the students, but that is something more than that. I'll deal with that, okay, when I come to the close of the slide. So now, let me know, are we taking a lifetime approach? So don't give him a fish, but teach him how to fish. Now, this we all know, it's very familiar. I'm not going to get very deep into this or in detail to this. You can find some scratches, okay, on the screen when it comes to the dissemination or the message passed from encoding to decoding. Okay, that is called noise. Okay, it is shown as noise. What are those noises? That's what we are going to think upon. What are those noises? This is called the communication model. We all know encoding, decoding, transmitting message, sender, receiver. Okay, we are all familiar with this. We are all very familiar with this. Nothing wrong. But what are the noises we English teachers create? That is my concentration. Now, objectives of being an English language teacher or English teacher. What are the objectives? Why are we English teachers? To teach English language, to develop communicative capability in students, to enable students face real-time situations in life, to make students competent enough to manage with the language, to impart knowledge, capacity to survive. Folks, I now wish to draw your attention here. Why are you an English teacher? Or why are you an English language teacher? Let me be very specific. We need to teach English language. That is our objective. Not English as a subject. The second objective is you need to develop the communicative capability in students. I wish to share an example here. I know one of my friends who is working in an aided college as a management faculty. I know he has attended many interviews in the same college to become an aided teacher. He is very strong in the subject, he is very strong in literature, he is very strong in everything, but he failed n number of times. So once I had a very private talk with him and said, I used to call him, Anna, you're very strong in the subject. Okay, why did you get through? What is the problem? You are in the same college. You are working as a management faculty, and why can't you become an aided faculty? You are exposed to everything. What is the need of the college? You know what he said? I have communication problem. My friends, I am talking about an English teacher who told me I have communication problem. How many of us face the same problem? Where is the mistake? What happened? So to develop communicative capability in students is our main objective. Then the third point is very realistic. To enable students face real-time situations in life, I'll tell you. Students are not equipped to face real-time situations in life. How to talk to a teacher, how to talk to the principal, how to talk to the head of the department, how to talk to a respected dignitary. So these are all real-time situations where we need to expose our students to. You can ask me, can this happen in the same classroom? Of course. We need to become a good modulator, I already told you. We need to be very innovative because we deal with Gen Z adolescents. So our students fail in real-time situations in life. How to speak to a stranger, how to speak to a well-wisher, how to communicate with a person in public, how to request a ticket from a conductor. So these are all real-time situations where our students miserably fail. Where is the problem? Next, to make students competent enough to manage with the language. Of course, language. I again and again stress upon the point, we need to teach him language. Then, the last point, so impart knowledge, come capacity to survive. I'll tell you, knowledge is essential, but what makes him survive? What makes him survive? He has got knowledge. How is he going to disseminate it? Or how is he going to use his knowledge? How is he going to convey his knowledge? He wants to ask something. He knows what he is going to ask, but he does not know how to ask it in English. Who should teach him? Must he learn by himself? Of course, he should be motivated. But why didn't we give such a kind of a motivation in them where they could learn the language? So to impart knowledge come capacity to survive. So these are all our objectives. So now I'm quickly moving on to the next slide. What do we exactly do? Objectives are on one side. And what do we exactly do? We teach English as a subject. Everyone will accept. English as a subject. Then we develop our communicative capabilities. I'll tell you, we become good communicators. Okay? We become good communicators. We equip ourselves. We hone our communication skills because we want to be bright before the students. We want to be high sounding before the students. We want to impact the students. Okay, we want to make students spellbound. So this is what we exactly do. Number 3, we learn to face our real-time situations and realities of life. I want earnings, sir. I must teach the subject. I must teach the subject well. Otherwise, people will question me. I think, we are narrowing down or we are shrinking in our objectives. That is not our objective. Teaching the subject, English as a subject is our objective, but that is not our complete objective. We need to make them face a real-time situation, but what we are doing, we are facing our real situations. We want to excel. Don't you think we are very selfish? Number 4, we make ourselves competent enough to manage with the language. Of course, we learn, but do not make our students learn. We want to become good communicators, but we are not worried about the communication of our students, communicative capability of our students. Friends, think upon this. Last, we gather knowledge and expose our expertise to the students. We want to show off. We want to tell, I know better than you. I am a teacher here. Though I am a participant, I am a teacher. I know more than you. I know to communicate better than you. Okay, if I communicate, you cannot understand. In such a way, you always want to keep ourselves in a high pedestal. But that is not going to serve the objective. That is not going to serve learners' future. So misconceptions of an English language teacher. What are the misconceptions? Number one, you want to spellbound your student. Yes, students, you want to spellbound your students. You want your students want to look at you and say, what are English? My English teacher is really good. Come on. They go home and tell their parents, my English teacher spoke. My English teacher taught me, I didn't even understand a word. Such a good English he or she spoke. Does it serve the objective? Does it serve the objective? Now, number two, love for the language. We speak language in such a way that we feel students should love us for the language. Super professor English, sir. English sir will speak well. Okay, it's like a lullaby. We can keep listening. We can keep hearing to what he speaks. Good. That's what that is what we expect. But we are not meant for that. So that is a misconception, I'll tell you. And we want to use bombastic words, big words. Okay, our students should become awestruck. Okay, they get flabbergasted. We want to make them get flabbergasted in understanding the meaning of what we speak. They don't understand anything. And the expressions that we use are not familiar to the students. Next, grading consciousness. How do students grade us? How do our peers grade us? How do our co-teachers grade us? See, keeping this consciousness, I don't think we'll do justice to our learners. We need to be worried about our learners. We need to be worried about the future of our learners. How are we going to impart English language to them? That should be our consciousness. But we are conscious about being graded. How does our management grade us? How do our peer teachers grade us? How does my counterpart grade me? These are all misconceptions. And you want to be very sweet, English teachers are basically sweet, but we want to be more sweeter to the students. I don't know why. Maybe, we don't want to be very accountable. I don't know, but you want to be very sweet. Then you want to express benignity. Okay, you want to be a good human being. Nothing wrong. But the basic trait of a human being is to help your students, help the future of the students. So these are all the misconceptions we have. Now, reaching the level of understanding. So ELT, what is called ELT? English language teacher or teaching. We are teaching whom? English language learners. We are exposed to our world called English language learners. Students look up to us for learning language, not English subject, I'll tell you. They want English language. English language. They want to communicate. Many students have come to me and asked, sir, I want to become a communicator. But you are teaching grammar in the class, which we have been learning right from 6th standard. You are teaching the same again and again. But what are you going to do for my language learning? And our language learners are exposed to the world. Exposed to the world. They are not going to be exposed to us always. They are going to be exposed to the world, and they will have to expose themselves to the world, and we'll have to equip them in such a way they expose themselves well to the world. And again, the duty comes to the English language teacher. Okay, it's a circle. English language teachers to English language learner. English language learner must expose themselves to the world. And again, the duty comes to English language teacher. If the student doesn't expose himself and communicate well in the world, he'll again blame whom? The English language teacher. I'll tell you. Okay, so in case, I'm not a good communicator, what would I say? I'll say my English teacher did not do justice. Of course, she taught me English subject, but she didn't teach me English language. That is the pathetic situation we are in. So friends, let's think about that. So how are we going to reach our students? Are we reaching the memory level of the students or understanding level of the students? I say a teacher, English language teacher and the student, it's understanding. It's a mind mate, I'll tell you. A mind mate. You should understand who your students are and should make the student understand what you are speaking. What is the objective of you being in the class as English language teacher? So whether you struck or whether you strike the memory level of the students or whether you strike the understanding level of the students. Next, are we in the teacher's level or students level? 30% of the class are brighter students. They can learn by themselves. You need not teach them anything. They are capable of doing it. But what about the 70% of the students? They rely totally on you. They look up to you for language learning. Next point, current level versus mastery level. First, analyze our students well, analyze their understanding, and what is the current level of understanding English, and where are we supposed to take them? How are we supposed to equip them to the future? The last point, attitude and behavior, teacher versus student. What is your attitude and behavior? What is the student attitude and behavior? Friends, these are all certain things, okay, that we need to think upon. So I see all this now. Okay, it's time for you to think. So reaching the understanding level of students. Bud Bilanik, he's a career mentor. He talks about dynamic communication. What is called dynamic communication? Excelling in communication, efficient communication, effective communication. So what is the purpose of communication? Understanding is the purpose of communication. Why do we communicate to the students? We make them understand. We want to make them understand. So he talks about 3 skills: conversation skills, writing skills, and presentation skills. So under dynamic communication, he says, okay, a student must be skilled in conversation. A student must be skilled in writing. A student must be skilled in presentation. And next he says, precise language versus sloppy word choices. This is what I'm going to deal with in another 10 minutes. I'm going to rush up. Okay, in another 10 minutes, I'll be dealing with this. Precise language versus sloppy word choices. Are we precise in our classroom? Are we precisely touch the understanding of our students? What is the need of the hour? What do my students need? Are we precisely reaching them? Are we beat around the bush before our students? Are we become very imprecise using sloppy word choices, where we make our students totally confused? Our students are totally confused. They do not know what we speak and they do not know what they should learn. So precise language is the need of the hour, and we need to equip ourselves to be very precise in our communication. Only then we can reach the understanding of our students and tell them that they should be very precise in communication. So now the world is moving towards a system where everywhere we need to be very precise. If you are going to be very imprecise, will be confusing. Definitely, I'll tell you. People cannot understand what we speak. So when our students go out to the world and expose themselves to the world, and they are going to be very imprecise in their language, I don't think our students will definitely be appreciated. So how to teach precise language to them? First of all, we'll have to learn precise communication. Look at this. The picture says, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Now I pose this question. Do our students understand all that you speak? I remember one of my professors at Loyola College, great stalwart. He is a man of power when it comes to literature. At the same time, when we look at his language, my goodness, very simple and precise. He always teaches us as literature students. He says, you need to be very precise and clear, he says. You need to speak very precise language and you need to be very clear. Only then you will influence many people and impact many lives. So are we using words, or are we using language that can be understood by our students, or understood by others, understood by our peers? Let's think upon. Now, precise versus sloppy word choices. Now let's read this incident. Okay, this incident is very nice. I'll read it. I had an appointment with a salesperson set up for 4. She called me a little after 11 to confirm our appointment. So far, so good. Then she said, I'll see roughly around 4. I said, our appointment is at 4. To which she replied, that's what I said. I'll see you roughly around 4. I then said, our appointment is at 4. You said you would see me roughly around 4. I have an appointment that will run until about 3:55 and another one at 5. I need for us to meet at 4. She said, whatever. I asked, so you will be here at 4? She said, yes, and hung up. Look at this. Look at the conversation. Look at the words, roughly around. The man wants to be very precise. He wants an appointment sharp by 4. But look at what the lady said. She said, I'll see roughly around 4. My friends, we are also the same in the classroom. We are also very imprecise. We use sloppy words. The words are not direct. The words are not directing our students properly. We always keep them under imprecision. They don't get precise idea of what we are telling. So a number of times our students keep asking us, Madam, what did you say? Sir, what did you say? Sir, I didn't understand. Sir, can you repeat? What do we do exactly? We go to the mother tongue, we explain what we said in English, and then we complete our communication. But why can't we dilute ourselves? Why can't we come down to be very precise to the understanding of the students? So let's be very precise. Okay, we are going imprecise. I'll tell you, imprecision brings in miscommunication. So when there is miscommunication, there will be misunderstanding. When there is misunderstanding, I don't think, okay, we are fulfilling our objectives. That is what we are teaching our students also. They also learn to be very imprecise with the world. They want to be very imprecise. Okay, I'll tell you what this imprecision takes us to or costs us. I'll go to the next example. Example 2, the cabinet minister who says, my officials are monitoring the situation very closely. I can promise that we shall take all appropriate measures to ensure that the situation is resolved in a way that is fair to all parties involved. Now, concentrate this conversation and read the questions given below. What did the cabinet minister promise? Nowhere the promise is very clear. What appropriate measures? Anything or nothing? Nothing is clear in the conversation. Fair to all parties mean clear idea? No clear idea. Friends, this is how we talk. This is how we teach. Okay? So due to want of time, okay, I'm moving forward. Coming to example 3. Look at this. Imprecise words and precise words. We use many. Many means how many? Our students are at confusion. Early. Early means how early? Hot. How hot it is? Most. Okay. Do we give a clear definition for the most that we use? Others. Others. We say others. Other students are also invited. Who are those other students? Poor student. What do you mean by poor student? Is he financially poor or academically poor? We are not precise. Very rich. Very rich means how rich? Soon. How soon? Furniture. What furniture? My friends, whenever we use these imprecise words, definitely we put a question into the minds of the students. Okay, we make them ask questions, I'll tell you. Many, how many? Early, how early? Hot, how much? So this imprecision always confuses our learners. So it is better to avoid being imprecise, and it is better to learn to be very precise in our communication. Only then our students also will learn to be very precise in communicating to their own world. As I already told you, we are dealing with Gen Z adolescents. So example 4. Catching a train. Look at the theme. Okay, it's information and processes. Catching a train to work. Imprecise language says the train timetable states the train will arrive within 2 to 3 hours from 7 a.m. Are you precise? If our timetable gives us such an information, do you think, okay, we can understand? Whereas the precise language says the train timetable states that the train will arrive at 7:40. The train will arrive at 7:40 a.m. So, second, baking a cake with a recipe. The recipe may say, pour milk into the mixture. How much milk? But the precise communication says, pour 250 ml of milk into the mixture. Third, building a house. The architect provides a sketchy draft of our floor plan with no measurement and give it to the builder. Do you think the builder can build? I don't think the builder can build. So coming to the precise language, the architect to design our house with precision, to produce a floor with plan and precise measurement. Of course, an architect should give a precise measurement. He cannot be very vague. My friends, okay, we are all very vague in the classroom. Let's be very clear. Only if we are clear, we can produce clear communicators. Okay. So look at this. Look at this interesting. Look at this interesting dialogue. Mom, I'm going out, said Stephen. Oh, where are you going? Asked Mom. Oh, somewhere, replied Stephen. Who are you going with? Asked Mom. With someone, replied Stephen. Okay, when will you be at home? Asked Mom. Sometime after dinner, replied Stephen. Friends, don't you think we are also doing the same? When our students ask us some question, are we really precise? Are we really precise? In order to hide our ignorance, don't we beat around the bush? Don't we become imprecise? But the world needs only precise communication. We need to equip our students in precise communication. Yes. Some precise communication. There are about 600 people working in this company. Look at this. There are approximately 600 people working in this company. Nothing is precise. If you go through this slide, nothing is precise. It says there are large number of students interested. How many students? It's almost impossible. How much? Management predicts up to 50%. Up to 50% growth. Is it very precise? No. So we are prone to make imprecise communications. So prevalence of imprecisions. Look at this. Okay, these are all certain examples. Okay, I'm going to move very fast. Rounding ups. Okay, we always say it is about 2:30. It almost 2:30. Okay, what is the time? Clearly, tell us clearly. Tell us clearly what is the time. List completers. I typed some letters. What letters? Reports and so on. What is so on? What is so on? We use words like stuff, things, something. All these create imprecisions. Next, placeholders. Placeholders for when a speaker does not know or cannot remember the name of something or someone. I need a thing for the slide projector. What thing? Need a slide. What thing you need? What thing you need? I gave it to you know that guy in the accounts department. Which guy in the accounts department? 4. Quantifiers. When expressing quantity, frequency, or the time. See, look at the mistakes that we do. Should we say around 3 or 4 o'clock? Around. We have already seen this word around. It cost around 20 pounds. What is around 20 pounds? Be specific, be precise. It's about a million. What is about a million? Is it not a million or it's more than a million? What is it? What are you trying to convey? Imprecisions. Now, number 5, generalizes. We use words like sort of, kind of, or you know. See, whenever we don't get words while teaching, we say, okay, you know, the thing you know. My friends, the same things are being emulated by our students. It's not going to help them in their future. Okay, they are going to be miserable failures. So let us not be responsible for the miserable failures. So why the English language teachers resort to imprecise communication? Why do we resort to? Why do we want to be very imprecise? Number 1, to avoid expectations and accountability. We don't want to be accountable. No one should question us from the words that we spoke. So to avoid expectations and accountability, we always resort to be very imprecise. To create a comfortable atmosphere, okay, you want to be comfortable. Okay, we are not bothered about our learners. We are not bothered about our learners, keeping our learners comfortable in their life or making them comfortable to their future. We are very selfish. Okay, we want to be very comfortable. Number 3, comforting to students. Okay, we want to comfort students. Okay, we want to keep them at comfort. Neither, okay, we let them understand, or if they try to understand, also we try to confuse with imprecise language. So let's be very careful. So now, to cope with abruptness. Okay, we keep on talking. Okay, we cannot be very precise. I'll tell you. So imprecise communication, okay, will always help us to cope with abruptness. Okay, we are very abrupt. We are not clear. Okay, we stop wherever we want and put the students in utter confusion. Now, to avoid awkwardness, okay, we don't get words as quickly as possible. Okay, in order to cover our awkwardness, okay, what do? We use all kinds of imprecise communications. So steps to be precise and clear. Okay, there are a few steps that we need to follow. Number 1, start with the conclusion. You decide the conclusion, what you are going to teach to your students. What are we going to tell our students? What is our objective in the class? We must be first clear. Okay, so okay, great ELT practitioner says, okay, if you want to be very precise and clear, start with the conclusion. Means, okay, you know your conclusion and start your lecture. Then you'll be very precise. Number 2, cut down any extra words. Don't use extra words. Be precise. No matter if your students say, okay, you're very normal, okay, you're very elementary, I'll tell you, we loved the professor for being very simple. His language can be understood even from a person, okay, who is from a village, who does not know much about English language, but even he can understand what the professor spoke. The example I gave you. So cut down any extra words. Now avoid bureaucratic language. That is called British Babu syndrome. British Babu syndrome. Okay, we always want to be a Britisher in the class. Okay, because we are all English teachers. Not necessarily. We always want to speak English in a stylish way which our students cannot understand. Not necessary. If you are not going to strike the understanding level of your student, I'll tell you, okay, as English language teachers, we are miserable failures. Okay, so please, let's take care of this. Now, number 4, plan ahead to communicate better. We need to plan. English teachers think, okay, English language, okay, it's just English language. Okay, why should I prepare? English subject, why should I prepare? No. Plan ahead to communicate better. Practice your communication to reach the student's understanding. Number 1, start with the conclusion. Okay, I'm going to wind up. So start with the conclusion. Captures attention. What are the uses of starting with the conclusion? Means, okay, keeping the conclusion in mind. Excuse me. It captures interest, gives better roadmap, allow him to make decision. Yes, he can make decision. He'll know what you're teaching. He'll know what is your objective. He knows what is the outcome of your class that day. Example, we absolutely have to have a 6-day. Look at this example. He is not conclusive here. We absolutely have to have a 6-day work week because our staff members love working on Saturdays and 6 is our lucky number. Is he direct? Is he precise? His objective is to make the workers work for 6 days. Let him be point blank. Okay, why is he telling? Because our staff members love working on Saturdays and 6 is our lucky number. This is how we always say. We search for a reason for our conclusion. Don't search for a reason. Give what your conclusion is. Precisely. If they ask for a reason, even tell the reason precisely so that students can easily understand. Number 2, cut down any extra words. Eliminate unnecessary eliminates unnecessary literary flourish. Removes trivial details. Cut down on things which do not add or modify the central theme. Don't keep talking. Okay, don't make your language too bushy. Okay, so make it very clear. Cut down many words which people cannot understand. Even if you converse with your peers, I'll tell you, be simple. Let your peers understand what you're trying to speak. Number 3, avoid bureaucratic language, the British Babu syndrome. Example, it would be really great and I would be eternally grateful if you please kindly let me know who to talk to in the accounts department. Look at this. This is how we always talk. Once it happened, okay, I was in a multi-story building. Actually, I was moving through the lifts. One well-dressed girl, a modern girl, stepped into the lift, and she looked at the lift keeper, or the man who operates the lift. She said, "Hello, sir. I'm so and so. Can you take me to the floor? Can you take me to the floor after the next floor?" This was her communication. She told the lift operator, "Can you take me to the floor after the next floor?" You know what is the response the man gave? The man asked, "Number." That's all. He said, "Number." The girl knows English. The girl is a good communicator of English. Was she effective there? No, she was not effective. The liftman or the lift operator asked the girl number. After she said 2, he operated the lift and took her to the second floor. See, this is how we always show ourselves as British Babu. We are all British Babu. We are all Britishers. Okay, so how can you speak? Please direct me to the right person in the accounts department. Finished. Your language is very precise. But you always confuse people with your imprecision. Look at that. The letters in blue. Okay, it's confusing. But the letters given down, okay, the words given down. Please direct me to the right person in accounts department. That's all. Simple. Your communication ends. Number 4. Plan ahead to communicate better. What are you supposed to do? Prepare yourself mentally. Come on, you'll have to practice to be very precise. Precision does not come naturally. We English teachers, we know many words. We want to incorporate all those words, put into communication, speak to the students, impress them, okay, make them abstract, okay, make them spellbound. No. That is not going to work. That is not going to help our learners. And also, that is not going to make our learners successful in the world. Please prepare yourself mentally to communicate better. Preparation to be precise. I'll tell you, you prepare something, but prepare it precisely. What are you going to do? How are you going to teach? How are you going to teach the students communication skills? Communication for real-time situations in life. Number 3, conscious practice to avoid vagueness. Consciously, you should avoid vagueness. Try not to be imprecise and try to be precise. This should be the dictum if you want to make your students good communicators. Now, remember 3 C's as English language teachers. Content, of course, you must deliver good content. It's for knowledge. You need to connect your students. How do you connect? It's through understanding. Okay, you need to connect yourself to the understanding of the students. Okay, and number 3, communicate. Why must you communicate? You are building his future. Why must you make your students good communicators? To build his future, my friends. Okay, the first part, content, we are very strong. We are also able to connect our students to some extent, but not completely. Your imprecisions, your vagueness creates miscommunication. You neither communicate clearly nor make your students communicate clearly to the world to which they are exposed to. So content, connect, and communicate. We need to take care of all these 3 C's in our English language teaching environment. Yes. Some questions to think. Okay, I think this is my last slide. I'm sorry for exceeding the time. Okay, I'm going to wind up. So kindly let's look at this question very closely. These questions have got something to tell us, some questions to think. When English language teachers are at schools and colleges, why external trainers for imparting training in English communication skills are employed? Are we being gradually replaced? Number 2, are ELTs failing in their duty to impart language skills? Number 3, is it our role to make our students good communicators in English? Number 4, if communication skills in English is a key factor of survival of our students, how are we equipping students to face the demand set before them? If brevity is the soul of wit, why do we impress students to be very descriptive and exhaustive? What is the need of the hour? Number 6, as architects of students' future, are we designing or destroying? Friends, these are the 6 questions I want to keep before you. So take these questions lifelong. I am really afraid when a person who has completed 1 degree and has got good communication skills can teach learners communication skills. Do our management really lead English language teachers and pay us so much? Or is there any threat that will be replaced by language trainers? So let's realize our roles clearly. What are we? Unless we realize, I don't think, okay, our survival will be blessed. So let us become English language teachers and trainers, not English subject teachers. So let's look at the need of the hour and the demand of the students. And what does the world demand from, or what does the world demand from our students? Let us equip them actually in that, so that we could be good English language teachers. So thank you for your patience listening, and hope I've given you certain inputs to think upon as English language teachers, and then we'll keep doing our noble profession well. Let's excel. Let's excel as English language teachers. That is the need of the hour. Let's teach our students communication skills. Let's teach them precise communication. Let us be precise so that we will be really blessed. So thank you so much. If there is any question, you can pose the question.
Sir, we have a few questions for you in your chat.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
From the participants.
So, okay, one question shows, what are your views on teachers who are good in spoken English but lacking in terms of grammatical skills? Of course, yes, teachers are good in spoken English. See, always we should understand that spoken English is different from written English. Written English needs more grammar. I'll tell you, more grammar. But spoken English do need grammar, but not to that extent. Okay, sometimes okay, we use keywords to communicate. Keywords are most sufficient, I'll tell you. There are speakers I know who communicate in English without grammar. Without grammar. Their grammar might be wrong, but they can communicate. They can make us understand what they are trying to say. Maybe it would affect their self-esteem or self-image, but still the purpose of communication is met out. So those people who can speak good English can also err in grammar. But grammar is essential. But communication, what is the purpose of communication? What is the objective of communication? Objective of communication is to make people understand. Okay, so that is the first question, I think. How to develop easy communication among students? I'll tell you, very important. It's a nice question I want to answer. Actually, I expected this question. See, my friends, give them real-time situations, dialogues. See, always a conversation has two things: question and answer. Question and answer. Be at home, be in public, be in your college. You always question, and there is an answer. Our conversation is built like this: question and answers, question and answers. So I want you to expose students to the real-time situation. Give them. Take, for example, you are traveling in a bus. Okay, you want to get a ticket. How do you communicate to the conductor? Put two students into act. Give them real-time situation. Make them communicate. Of course, I'll tell you that will help them. That will go very handy. In fact, you are equipping them to face the real-time challenges, actually. Many students are not able to communicate in public, I'll tell you. It's a miserable state. Take, for example, I send some students to principal. You know, principal will say, hey, come on, tell it in Tamil, man. Why do you tell it in English? Because I'm not able to understand. So let's be very careful, okay? Yes, then. Sir, don't you think while communicating in English, our mother tongue must not be reflected in terms of our tone and pronunciation? Of course, that is called MTI, mother tongue influence. It should be avoided only through practice. Only through practice. Otherwise, okay, there will be mother tongue influence. Take, for example, students from Kerala, they will have their own mother tongue influence, but we need to teach them how to avoid the mother tongue influence, okay? We'll have to make them listen to many audios, news, how people speak. So we need to expose them to a kind of an emulation where they learn English pronunciation rightly. Do you believe language cannot be taught through literature? Is language such a straitjacket that only technical communication and Carnelian principle can do this? No. I am a person who believes language can be taught through literature also. I always love to research on that. I'll tell you. Literature is a very good source through which you can teach language. Yes, I've tried it. I've used poetry. I've used prose in the class to teach them how to communicate. Okay. Madam, is it sufficient or should I go on with the two more questions?
Podu, Sylvia.
Yes.
Which language skill should the English teacher focus on in the classroom? Basically, first, spoken English. Equip them to speak in public. It's very important. Number two, writing skills. Speaking skills, writing skills. Then comes reading and listening. Okay, these are all okay. They both go together. Good listeners are good speakers. Good readers are good writers. Okay, it goes on like that. Would you recommend science fiction to teach in in engineering college to teach English? Whatever you use, sir. My basic concept is teach them to communicate, please. As English language teachers, let us impart language, not the subject. That's a need of the hour. Our students are failing miserably. They think about English language teachers only when they are at stake, I'll tell you. They are not able to communicate. They say, we are not able to communicate, sir. Okay, when we meet our students, hey, where are you placed, man? Sir, what, sir? I'm not able to communicate. I'm not able to get placed. I'm working as a CL laborer. Don't we think we are responsible? So thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for your patience listening. So let's create good communicators. Let us also become precise communicators. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Emmanuel. I think you posed a lot of questions. It was thought-provoking and you really set us thinking. And you did not stop with that. You also gave some solutions to that. So I think on behalf of all the English teachers who are watching this and many of the teachers, I think definitely we are indebted to you for sharing ocean of knowledge with us today. Every slide actually set us thinking. Thank you so much, sir. And
Thank
over
you.
to Kavita. Kekaliye, Kavita.
Audio,
Not
ma'am.
able to-
Audio is not
We are
clear.
not able to hear you. Yes.
An ignited mind is the most powerful weapon on the earth, above the earth and under the earth. This is got through education. A good afternoon to everyone present here. On behalf of the Srm-Ist Ramapuram, I, Kavita K, deem it a great honor and privilege to stand before you all to deliver the vote of thanks. At first, I thank Almighty for everything, my management for giving us the opportunity to do the progress and the program in a successful way. I thank our HOD Dr. V. Rama for the courageous and continuous support to go ahead with the feathers. Today, my words are not enough to express the gratitude on behalf of our college to Dr. Emmanuel, who graced us with his thoughts, provoking address, set a perfect platform to the teacher's role. I thank you, all the participants who joined with us today, and thank you all so much for taking an effort to join with us. Let's join our hand once again tomorrow, and we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you. The session ends over here. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Kavita, ma'am.
Ah.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you.